My name is Jessica de Abreu. I'm from the Netherlands. I am a general coordinator at European Network for People of African Descent, ENPAD, and I'm also co-founder of StopBlackface.com.
Yes, my name is Maureen Tambwe, and I'm also a member of the European Network of People of African Descent, and I'm advocacy coordinator within the network. And apart from that, I'm also a community organizer in Belgium.
So what brought me to Berlin is to speak about Black Lives Matter, but also how it's localized in Europe.
We have seen regression. We've seen regression in terms of people being present in political arenas. That has decreased. We went from 16 to 18 to only 4 members, only 1 senator we have now. So it's going up and down. And one of the reasons is that maybe politically now we are in need of a common agenda. Common agendas, I would say, agendas that fit to the diverse dimension of issue that we have, and maybe some of our political leaders, Black political leaders, need now to really take a stand for their people.
The Black Lives Matter movement has inspired many people across the world, inspired people to take actions, inspired people to take action and create movements. Like they said, this is not a movement, this is not a moment, this is a global movement.
Women bodies are Black bodies are being reclaimed by Black women. And with the fact that we are the ones setting our own beauty standards. And I think this is also a shift, a clicking moment in Belgium that we can see also linked to the Black Lives Matter. Not only by saying it matters when it comes to police and systemic brutalities, but it also comes within our house and our body and our choices.
I'm Natasha Nkonde. I was born in Zambia and moved to London when I was 6 years old. I'm an organiser in Black Lives Matter UK, as well as an organiser with Sisters Uncut, which is a feminist direct action group.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Kachenga. I'm representing Black Lives Matter UK and Bent Bars.
I'm an organizer with the Movement for Black Lives, which is a network and container for many of the Black-focused and Black-centered organizations that are doing work across the United States, including the Black Lives Matter Network, BYP 100, and a number of organizations in Ferguson, Baltimore, all around the country. And we're deeply committed to building Pan-African connections across borders, which is one of the reasons why I'm in Europe, so I'm happy to be here.
We're very used to being ignored or being shunned out. So I think we're shedding the respectability politics, and I think as a result of being included, we're also able to talk about the racism we face within the queer communities and things. So I think there is something quite new, something quite distinct about the inclusivity of this new movement. And yeah, I think by my continued presence and the way that I am welcomed, centered, listened to, and at the end of the day loved, I'm able to bring my whole self, as Natasha was saying, to my political work.
Last year we had Mumsy Mohammed, Jermaine Baker and Sarah Reid die in police custody, and it was incredible to see just young people spontaneously organising to hit the streets. There's not been an anti-racist movement that's been out in the streets for a number of decades, at least in the UK. I think you're absolutely right to talk about seeing, not just allowing the African American context to be the lens through which we understand our own experiences. This is a global struggle, of course, but there are differences in the ways that we like violence is being inflicted upon Black bodies. I mean, in the UK, the problem we have is people getting tasered, less so gun crime, but yeah. And the problem of detention centres and the torture and violence that's happening specifically to Black women of African descent in these detention centres. You know, we're talking about all of the 3,000 deaths, over 3,000 deaths in the Mediterranean last year. These are some of the issues that we are ensuring are spoken about that are true to our own context. But one of our important statements is that the struggle is global and so must be the solution. And so I think it's really, really important that we're here, that we're having and creating this dialogue, people in the Netherlands, people in France, people in Germany, and just creating those links. Because, yeah, for liberation to come, it is going to require all of us to be in on this, dialoguing together.
White supremacy in the United States seems very visible, whereas white supremacy in Europe continues to not be as visible. And so it's interesting. This isn't true in the US, but I think it's something that's interesting in Europe, where you know, there could be a lot of energy and cross-racial solidarity against white supremacy and against anti-black racism, but in the foreign context, whereas in the context, the local context, there's almost a denial that racism exists, or it's even like, well, you know, they're killing black people in the US every day. We're only killing you guys like once a month. So, you know, you should be happy that we're giving you sanctuary here.
If you become a member of Black Lives Matter UK, there's certainly no expectation that you're going to be involved in direct action groups and that you're going to put your body in that place. Like, because we fully understand that some people are undocumented, some people are queer, trans, disabled, and so cannot put themselves in those situations, in those dangerous situations. However, I think if you're organizing with a group like that, you understand the radical politics, and there is usually some kind of conversation and discussion around the types of means that we are willing to use. And so it would surprise me that you would join that group and not have an understanding that some people may engage in that kind of radical action.
I don't think that this is violence, or that I don't think that's violence either, right?
That's not violence.
Right? I don't think these are inanimate objects. I don't think you're capable of performing violence against them. I do think you're capable of performing violence against human bodies. And so I think one of the things that always strikes me as remarkable is that in our protest, usually the press, and usually folks with a lot of race or class privilege, they're so concerned with this. And they're horrified by this. When what we're talking about is the actual violence that ends the lives of people with families, with homes, with stories. It's remarkable that we are somehow equating these things when they're completely different.
The reason why I joined the movement is simply and short because of this reason. I want Black people to feel welcome and safe no matter where they go.